Okay, today we're going to be talking about a lesson plan, Counting by Twos, our step-up activity. It's for grade levels, first grade, and the lesson objective is students will understand how to skip count by recognizing patterns. Students will understand how to construct, describe, and extend a number sequence, and students will be able to construct a tower using the skip counting. The standard address and expectations are, we're using the operations and algebraic thinking, and the expectations are patterns, relationships, and algebraic thinking. The students recognize patterns in numbers and operations, and students are expected to A, use patterns to skip count by twos, fives, and tens, and B, find patterns in numbers including odds and evens. Anticipatory set, teachers will gather students and explain that it will be a math workshop day, and students will be using a penny jar of pennies and building a staircase tower to show their work. Students will be able to pick their partner and work together in their first workshop. For our input, teachers will show students to record activity on their sheets and explain the manipulatives they will be using for each workshop. Teachers will give directions for two centers and then allow students and their partners to begin working. Modeling, we have teachers will use whiteboard to demonstrate the use of pennies and blocks for their staircase tower, and teachers will model to students how to begin working. Teachers will show the starting number of pennies and staircase and explain how many to add step up. Then teacher will show how to record. Check for understanding. Teachers will walk around and observe the students as they work in their centers with their partners, and teacher will guide students with comprehension questions as they work. Teachers and students will work for 20 minutes and change stations thereafter. The guided practice, as students work on centers, teachers will monitor students to make sure they understand the concept. If each student does not understand, the teacher will work with the partners, small groups, to explain further. For closure, teachers will gather students after they complete both centers. Teacher will then tell students they are going to help build their staircase tower. Teacher will start with 2 cubes and ask the students to tell them if we need to step up 2 cubes. Teacher will ask students how many cubes will be in that tower, and teacher will accept oral responses and then we'll write it down on the whiteboard. Teacher will continue to ask students to add more and ask how many we should add. How do you know, and how many we have now? Independent practice will be working with partners and oral discussion with teacher. So now I'm gonna explain how this activity is going to work. So okay, we're going to be doing a step-up activity today. It's going to be the step-up activity, and it's counting by twos. So in our first station, we are going to be using a jar where you are going to put your pennies in. You and your partner are going to work together and document and record everything on your activity sheet, which every student will get one, okay? So you guys are all gonna have one, and we are all gonna start with 2 pennies. There's already 2 inside here, and as you work with your partner, you're going to be adding 2 more. So you're gonna begin with nothing inside the jar. You're gonna add your first 2. So once we add our first 2 into our jar, we are going to add 2 more. Now we gotta start using our heads and thinking about how many will we have. So if we already have 2 inside and we're gonna add 2 more, how much will that be? Now you're gonna add your pennies into the jar, and you can see right here how many you add. So you and your partner, I want you guys to record how many you guys have in here. So for each time you put a penny in the jar, you're going to add. So we have 2 already, so we're gonna add that and add another 2, okay? So now with this, we have how much? 4. Okay, and then we are gonna continue to do the same thing, okay? We're going to add 2 pennies at a time into each jar so that you are able to add those all together, and then you'll be able to count for 2, 4, and then we'll have 6. So that's how you are going to do this first activity. Now for your second activity, we're going to be stacking pennies. So everyone's gonna have their pennies, and with your worksheet right here that I have, you are going to start with 2 pennies. We're gonna do the same thing. Put 2 pennies in the square, and therefore after, when you go to the next spot, you're gonna add an additional 2 pennies. You're going to record the amount that you have down here. When you are done doing this, I want you guys to record the total and put it into the sequence counting by 2s. So you will have 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. So when we are working in our activity groups, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be walking around the classroom and helping you guys administer this little activity. Once we are all done and completed with our 2 activities that we are doing in our 2 different workshops, which remember, you guys are gonna have to wait until I tell you to move to your next workshop, okay? When you guys hear the buzzer, you guys will rotate from group 1 to table 2 for group 2 to do our second activity, which will be station 1 will be putting the pennies into the jar, and station 2 will be putting the pennies on your activity sheet. So remember, every time you add your pennies, you have 1 penny here and 1 penny here. This will be box 1, and you could add right here your 2 pennies. And once you have square 2, and you add how many more? Yes, 2 more pennies we are going to add to the second square. You grab your 2 pennies and put them into the square, and now you record how many you have here. So we have another 2. So if we add these together like we did over here, counting by 2s, we will have 2, 4, then in our next box, if we have another 2, we will have 6. So 2, 4, 6, and then what will we have down here in box number 4? Yes, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, now for our last activity that we are going to be doing with me, you guys are all gonna come back to the carpet here and sit down with me, and we are going to be doing a staircase tower, and we will be adding blocks by 2s and seeing how high we can go. So if we start off with our 2 blocks, I'm gonna put them right here. We're gonna stack them on top of each other. So we have, how many do we have right there? 2. Now how do we know that we have 2? We're gonna count. 1, 2. Okay, now we grab 2 more and we add them on top of the other 2. So here's 1, here's 2. So now how many do we have? And remember, let's count by 2s, because that's what we're doing, counting by 2s, and we're stepping it up. So we stepped up already 2 more off of the 2 that we had to begin with. So how many do we have now? Counting by 2s. 2, 4. Good job, 4 blocks. Now if we add 2 more, how many will we have? Let's go ahead and add them in. So we have 1 more. Let's hope that this doesn't fall. Oh, it's gonna fall. Okay, so now we added 2 more squares. Now, let's count by 2 so that we could get to however many squares we have. So we have, let me grab my little stick. So we have 2, 4, 6. Now, if we add 2 more, how many do we have now? So here's another one. it's probably gonna fall. But we have 2 more, and so if we add 2 more to the top of this tower, let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8. We will have 8 squares in our tower. Remember the lesson, we are counting by 2s. I don't want you guys to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want you guys to count by 2s. So we will be using our thinking, and we will go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's going to be today's lesson on our step-up activity for our counting by 2s. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will be walking around with you guys and seeing how you guys are doing, okay? Thank you.